Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And welcome to vlog number 34. So today I am working on coloring the Hannah Lynn Celebrating the Holidays book. I have the PDF version. And I am coloring the Valentine's page today. I am following along with the Whimsy, I think it's just called Whimsy Girls 2021 or Whimsy 2021. I can't remember right now, but it's short like that. So that's to work through this book in order as we come up to all the holidays and just fitting in the special occasions as they come along. Is it the Coloring Diva that's hosting this? I think it is. And so at the beginning of every month she tells us which pages to color that month. So there's only two. Have the Valentine's page and the Brazilian festival or whatever it's called. So, yeah, the one that goes on in Rio de Janeiro, I think. So anyways, I've colored her hair black, and that is a bold step for me because I do not think I have ever colored hair black with marker before. I've done dark gray, but I've never used black. But this is like really a fully loaded page here, and her hair is going to be surrounded by so many different colors. I didn't want her hair to just blend into the background, so I went for it and colored it red. I colored it black, and I think it works out perfectly for this hairstyle. So next we're going to go on to doing the skin. So oh no, this wasn't the skin. I'm going to do her dress. That's it. Is this the powder pink one? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do the blouse that she's wearing underneath here. And I'm going to do it... Wait a minute. What's going on here? Because this looks like it's the background. But that is a really strange... I guess those are straps that are going over her shoulder. Looks like there's a line missing there. Well, I'll just have to go with it. Okay, so I'm coloring in the blouse, and this has a lot of circles on it, which I'm going to color with because I want it to be very, very pale. So I'm going to color in the circles with another pale pink, but one that's darker than this, so it's not going to matter if I go into those circles, but I am going to try and avoid them, at least until I get tired of doing that. We'll see what happens, because they're not going to show up. So you will be hearing my computer making some noises in the not too distant future here because it is rebooting. And then it will turn off when it's done doing that. Well, it won't turn off because I'm rebooting it, but it'll be quiet after that. So, how are you today? How have you been this last week? I hope things are well with you. And I hope that your health is going in the right direction. If today isn't a good day for you, we will pray that tomorrow will bring you good health or a good day. Some of us, that's all we can ask for, is that tomorrow will be a good day. And then enjoy it. Take advantage of your good days, because you never know when the bad day is going to hit. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, is I am enjoying a good spurt of good days here. So I did all my cardiologist stuff last week. I don't know if I told you everything that I did, but I'll just update you. So I haven't heard back from any doctors, so that means that all my tests were fine. So I had the complete blood workup, and I had an ultrasound on my legs, and no, what do you call that thing? I always forget. An ECG? The one where they stick the things on you and hook you up to wires. That one. So I had all those tests done and haven't heard back from anybody. So I can assume that all is well. Not sure I like how this is working. Well, what are those? Okay, I guess we have a fancy pattern on here. You know, this may be supposed to be lace, and those are supposed to be open work, but that's not the way I'm going to do it. For me, they're going to be like embroidery work on there. Or I could even fill in these circles with stickles. Because I probably would have done that anyways. The only problem is this. No, I think I have 2 shades of pink stickles. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I usually put random circles on, but these have got the circles there, so I'll follow them. So yeah, that's all the updates for me. Also celebrated our 25th anniversary on Friday, and we're in lockdown, so we couldn't really go anywhere or do anything, so we just took some time out to spend some quality time together, which is not something that we're able to do all the time with Mr. Niagara's, shall we say, erratic schedule, working shifts. There we go. She's turning on. And that should be it, I think. Oh no, the printer is going to do some shebanging. So the printer, is that what I said? The printer will be doing some shebanging. At least it should be. And what else? I guess that's it. Oh, the latest in coloring news is we have Kirby Rosanna's, his new book is out in England. I didn't pre-order it. I had it on my in my saved for later section so that I could add it before it went on sale, but I've watched a flip through of it. I haven't watched Color with Claire's flip through yet, but that's in my watch later section, so I'll be watching that hopefully today, because I am behind on my YouTubes. Like, that always happens. Like when I watch YouTube every day, I usually get to points where like I'm I'm done. I've watched everything. There's nothing left that I want to watch. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to watch now? But one day behind, like the day that I went out to all my appointments, I didn't do any online stuff. And I'm all caught up with Instagram and Facebook and, well, one thing left to do in my Facebook group. But otherwise, all caught up, but not YouTube. I am working on recent. I'm not even at yesterday. So if I haven't commented on your post, I have watched it, or I haven't got to it yet, but I will. I am leaving hearts, though, if I don't comment. I'm trying to watch so many. There's like a zillion channels to watch now. So, at least it doesn't take me a zillion hours to watch them, but I just am looking forward to getting to be caught up with yesterday. Oh dear. So I was talking about Kirby Rosanna's book, and I think I'm in the minority because I don't like it. I'm not getting it. I will get it if it turns up at book outlet for, you know, $6 or $7. But there's no way I'm paying full price for it because there's only some pages I would do. There are at least half of the pages, from what I remember of seeing on the video, of the flip through, is just pictures of wildlife in their natural setting. And I don't do real animals. I can't color real animals, and I'm not interested in coloring realistic pictures like that. I started getting into liking coloring realistic pictures of like scenery and that sort of thing, but I am not interested in coloring I can't remember any of the animals presented, but there was one of a bunch of some kind of animals in trees. And that's all the picture is. Trees, some leaves, and not even complicated leaves. And then you have your, whatever the animal was. A bunch of them sitting around in the trees. And I think the picture of the lion just had a lion and a lioness on it. So I'm just going by what I can remember in my memory, which probably isn't too clear. But the further the video went on, the less interested I was getting. So I think I'm going to go with, let's see how different fruit pink, what color is that? 28. Probably not going to be very different. Yeah, let's just take a look at one. Yeah, that's enough because I may be covering these with, yeah, it covers up the other color, so it's dark enough. So I have to remember that I might be doing these with stickles. So yeah, the reason I like Kirby Rosanna, it's great art. Nobody can deny that he's a fantastic pen and ink artist. So, if I was looking at an art book and I looked at some of these animals in their natural habitat pictures, I would go, very nice, nice art. And then I'd flip the page. The reason I like Kirby Rosanna's books is because of the fantasy in them. You can color in all his books, up to and including Worlds Within Worlds, you can color anything, any color that your heart desires. You don't have to color them realistic because they're not. They may be a realistic animal, but he's not in a realistic setting. Or in Worlds Within Worlds, he has some sort of community living within or on top of him. So he's fantastical, and you can color him whatever color you want. But if you've just got a natural nature scene, you can't color your lions purple if they're just sitting in a normal rainforest. What am I saying? What's the word I want? Grasslands. There we are. In a regular grassland setting. Like, what are you... That just isn't going to work. So I've got to say at least half of them. I didn't count, but when I watch Color with Claire's picture, video, I'm going to count them and see if there's more realistic pictures than fantastic ones. So yeah, he's got some fantastic ones in there, and they're nice. I'd have to look at them again to see which ones really stand out to me as being, the winners. But I'm not going to get the book just for half the pictures. So that will have to wait until I find it on Book Outlet. Which we know it will inevitably show up on, because all his books do. Even Worlds Within Worlds is on there, and it was on there not too long after the book came out, so keep my eyes open on that. So, yeah, what are your feelings? I mean, I know the art is good, but what I want to know is, are you happy with it to color in? Are you going to color those pictures of animals in their natural settings? Yeah, let me know, because I know I'm in the majority. Let's see if there's anybody else out there who just wasn't impressed. Oh dear. Now my fan is going on my computer, but I think we're used to that. I don't know why it does it, because I have the computer up, so it's getting air under there. It's obviously not as much as it wants. So, since I'm in a mood where I just don't feel like I have anything to say today, I dug out that Would You Rather page that I was working from quite a while ago now. I don't even know if it might have been back when I was doing just coloring chats before I had started the vlogs. I'm not sure. But anyways, we're going to do that. See, we'll go for about half an hour for this session, and we will see. So the first question we've got is, would you feel worse if no one showed up to your wedding or to your funeral? That's kind of a hard question, because I've already had my wedding. And we had a very small wedding, and not a lot of people were there, but it was enough that I felt that it felt good. And if nobody so let's just imagine hypothetically, if nobody showed up to my wedding and we had invited them, then I think I would feel pretty bad. If I hadn't invited anybody, then I'd be surprised if people showed up. Okay, so I want the outside of her dress to be a darker pink. I'm not sure if I want it to be a bright pink or just, you know, pink. But I think we'll just go with pink, and I'm going to use rose pink, which is number 8. Number 8, where are you? 88, 6, 8. Okay, so let me just double check the color. Oh yeah, that's going to be bright enough. So we're going to do her, looks like she's wearing a pinafore on top of this blouse here. My sister and I used to wear. Well, why does that have a heart on it? Could someone explain that to me? The background has hearts, but this is not the background. She cannot have her shoulder dipping in like that. A minute, I gotta hold this up straight and have a look at it, see what I'm missing. Okay, so her shirt is definitely under it. Why is the background coming? It's not under her arms, so it's not holding her up. I don't know what that is. These right here. I do not know what those are. Because this just makes it look like her shoulder's like that. But it's not. It's on top. It's on top of her dress. And yet it's just going out into the background. Why is the background coming onto her? Okay, well, I'm not going to color those. I'm just going to color the dress. Maybe it will... Let's put the end back on. Use the other side. Maybe it will come to me when everything else is colored. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, okay, I'd feel pretty bad if no one came to my funeral, my wedding. Now, if... Okay, well, that's the first thing that comes to me when I think about would I feel bad if nobody came to my funeral. Like, duh, I'm dead. I don't care. I don't care about anything. If my religious beliefs turn out to be right, then I will have other things to think about. Then did someone show up at my funeral? And if atheists have got the story right, then I have nothing. So the funeral, like I always say, is like the funeral is for the living. Funerals are not for the dead person. So, you know, when people say, oh, so-and-so would have wanted this and he would have wanted that, it doesn't matter. You know, you're doing that because it makes you feel better that you're doing things the way, you know, you're behaving as if that person is still alive. And it's making you, it's helping your grief to think that your loved one would have appreciated the funeral you gave them. And, you know, that's why people waste a lot of money on funerals. Like, I'm a Catholic, and I have certain burial rites that have to go on when I pass away, but We don't need to be buried in caskets or like fancy things. We can be buried in a coffin, and there's a difference between a coffin and a casket. A coffin is the box that has the three sides on the top, you know, two slanting in and one on the top, and it's just a box with a lid that you nail on to it. That's a coffin. A casket is those fancy things that cost thousands of dollars. So yeah, you don't need one of those. I always say that I want to be, well, and we also don't need to be buried. Catholics can be cremated. There's nothing wrong with that. Catholics can also be left to decompose at a natural rate, and I'm in favor of pretty much most of these new ideas that are coming up for burial rites, because there's nothing wrong with us. We came from the land, the earth, and to it we shall return, to paraphrase the Bible. So, yeah, that's what I would like. I would like to be able to return to the earth. But because of my religion, I really can't do that, because you have to be buried to return. Well, no, just a minute. No, I'm pretty sure that it's a cement hole you're put in. Yeah, I guess it all depends on the rules of the cemetery. I would have to ask that. But we can be cremated, and then we're put in an urn. And as far as I know, that doesn't have to be a bought one. It can be anything. I'd like to be put inside a coffee tin, because I love my coffee so much. That's what they can bury me in, is a coffee tin. Most likely a Timmy's. A Timmy's coffee tin. And then you can pay to be put in the, I forget the name of it, but they're these little drawers that they put you in, and then you shut it, and then there's this big cenotaph, I guess, sort of, that goes around, and on all sides there are boxes, and then people have a place to come to visit you. So that costs money, though. The other choice that you have, if you don't want to buy one of those things, then you're placed in the earth, and you can just pay for a marker to go there, a permanent marker to mark where you are. And that's what I will prefer to do. I want my wedding, I'm getting them mixed up. I guess for some people, sometimes. And I've been married twice, so I know what that feels like. Sorry, I was just having a sip. Okay, let's get her skin done here. And I think I want to go with that one that's kind of tan-ish. That's in my Spectrum Noirs. Let's turn back over here. Okay, TN1. I like this one. Well, I can find it. There we are. So, since I will not be alive to care if anybody comes to my funeral, and it will be my loved ones who will be concerned about that, I am going to say it would be worse if nobody came to my wedding. Well, that kind of went into a long discussion, didn't it? Not something I ever thought I would be telling you guys is how I want to be buried or what I want done with my body after I die. So the only thing I didn't mention about my dying is what the actual religious obligations are. The religious obligation is that my remains be buried or be placed in sacred ground. So the ground must be blessed by a priest, and which all cemeteries are, or not the whole cemetery, but the Catholic section of the cemetery is, and then that my remains stay together. So when people go and spread the remains, or cremains, I should call them, when people spread the cremains, in so-and-so's favorite spot, we can't do that because you're spreading your remains apart, and you won't, if you do that, if you willingly participate in that, like saying you wanted it done and then having it done, this is if you're Catholic, not you. If you don't believe in this, that this doesn't pertain to you, but it pertains to us, that you won't be resurrected at the end of this life and the new beginning. Judgment Day, you won't be resurrected to the new earth. You have to keep your remains together. And don't people often come up with questions like, well, what if you drown, or what if you're in an accident and or you get blown up and your body parts aren't all there. Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, God isn't petty. If your remains aren't together because of some reason, then that's fine. It's you have to willingly have wanted your remains to not be together. So, yes, that is my lesson in Catholicity. So, I finished her. See, now look, her neck looks weird. I don't know. I'm going to have to go online and see if other people have started coloring this picture yet to see what they're doing with this, because I have no idea. So let's just finish up her skin here, and then I will end for today. And maybe something will have happened to tell you about tomorrow. If not, we'll do another one of those things, because I really enjoy them. So yeah, leave comments down below if this is a topic that that you don't mind discussing. Whether it would be worse if nobody came to your funeral or came to your wedding, which would be worse. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and I will be gone until tomorrow, but you are going to see me in a minute, or a second. So, see you then. Hello, and we are back again. It is, just a minute, I have to, my tripod just went weird. Sorry about that. Hopefully it doesn't fall. So, we are back. So, I am in the middle of working on this butterfly out of the Ivy and the Inky butterfly. I feel like I am going great guns this month. It's only the 4th of February, and I've done a few PDFs and a couple of Chibi Girls already. So I'm just moving along with the Chibi Girls, and the end is coming near, and I've got a few people helping me out doing buddy colors to get these girls done, and then I will have my first real coloring book that finish. You know, I mean, not to make light of the books that I have already finished, but they're all color by numbers except for one, which is one of those penny press magazines, Designing Colors, and that took me about a year and a half, or a year and 2 months, or something like that. I can't remember. So that was quite a achievement. But this will be my first full coloring book that's, you know, got pictures in it, not patterns or color by numbers, because the magazine was all patterns. So today has been a day. Not that anything like, you know, major happened or anything. It's just that I'm feeling all unsettled, I guess the word is. Not in a creepy way, just in my routine. The way I like my life is all unsettled at the moment because, well, first of all, I did not sleep last night. I was up the whole entire night, not sleeping. And this is a weird thing that's been going on with my sleeping lately. The falling asleep fits are not happening at the moment. But what is happening is that I go to bed and I sleep really well for like 2 or 3 nights. I get like amazing sleep. I fall asleep when my head hits the pillow basically, and it's all great. Then I spend a night when I don't go to sleep, when I'm up the whole entire day, and I'm just here coloring, watching YouTube, or watching Netflix, and the next thing you know, I look at the clock and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, so I go get coffee and take my medication and begin the day. And then I'm not tired during the day even. And tonight I'll either have another late night. I won't stay up all again, but I may stay up pretty late. And then the next day or so I'll be back to sleeping like a baby. It is like so weird. It's like I don't know, it's like I need a recharge or something. I don't know. That's not really right either. But anyways, that's what's happening to me, so I didn't get any sleep. But good news, my bookcase came today. Yay! My bookcase came. I am so excited about that. So that has caused a gigantic mess in this room because I told you before we have to take the bed out of here, and so that went downstairs into our front room. Not the living room, but there's another room in front of that we call the front room. It's just a little horizontal type room, and so we put that bed in there, and that gave me room for the bookcase in here. So now I officially have an art room. Can you believe it? I've never, well, no, I guess I have had an art room before, but it's been a very long time. A very long time, like 20 years. So this will be good. So anyways, the bed came out of here, so to get the bed out, all sorts of things had to be taken off the bed and just shoved into, like on this side of my room, I've got my bed tables full of stuff, and then on this side I've got my other bed tables, and my carts, I should say, and my other table just piled with stuff. And I just feel like I'm here, and then there's all this stuff around me. So that's causing my unsettled feelings. So my husband and I should say Mr. Niagara and our son are going to maybe start putting the case together tonight, and we'll finish it tomorrow. So that will be great. So then I can spend the weekend. Tidying up this room, getting my books sorted, and I'm gonna put a bunch of supplies and just stuff that's messing up my desk. I'm going to put that on the bookcase. And you know, as the bookcase fills up with books, we'll deal with stuff as it comes along. But right now, I just need to get rid of this mess, make room for some books, move them all over so that each shelf has some room to grow. And then once the room is all tidy, I will feel better. So, anyways, I am using the Prismacolor Scholars. These are the student grade Prismacolors, and they're wax based. They have the same names as the Prismacolors to a degree. Like the grays all have actual names, rather than them being, you know, cold grays, warm grays, French grays, you know, like that. But I'd say pretty much all the other colors are the same. They're not the same numbers, though. These are 300s is the name. Now, I swatched these and the Crayola pencils at the same time because they're both in a case. They both fit in the same case, and I swatched them at the same time. And these are highly pigmented pencils, and they just make the Crayolas pale in comparison. Now, the one thing that the Crayolas have over these is that there's 100 colors of those. Or, well, I don't know. The 120 set isn't really 120 pencils. It's just 100 with 20 of those silly scents. But I guess you guys just got the new Cultures of the World set. So I guess that adds 24. Is it, or is it 36? So that'll add colors to the Crayolas. And these Prismacolor Scholars, they only have 60. But sometimes you don't need all those colors. Sometimes too much choice is too much. You know, you can get flustered on which colors to use if you have too much. Like, I'm coloring this in grays and blues, and so I just grabbed the lightest blues, a black, and the blue grays, and here are my pencils. That's it. That's all I have to work with, and it's plenty. I'm basically using the same four. Now I have to find my pencils I was working with. And the lightest gray. There we go. So these are a hard pencil. They're probably even harder than the Crayolas. But not in a bad way. They're not overly waxy either. But they lay down so much pigment, especially if you layer with them. And the color, it's rich, it's thick, the color. That's kind of like what I call it when you get so much pigment going down. It looks thick. Whereas when you're using a lightly pigmented pencil like the Crayolas, to me, it like looks thin, if that makes any sense at all. Those are my own observations, obviously. So yeah, I prefer these to the Crayolas, but you know, the Crayolas are in the same pencil case as these. So if I need a couple of lighter colors or whatever, I can go get those. Plus these don't have skin tones. So I'm just kind of working on a 3-color blend the same way I would with the Premieres, but I'm just kind of like layering each one and then bringing it out lightly so that I can blend, do kind of like, is it called maybe a layered blend? I don't know, I'm making up words as I go along here. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm thinking this looks good. And I really like how the body turned out. So, lots of activity going on around here while we have the beds all moved, so I'll get the bookcase up. So I've got a Q&A. Somebody asked a question. Now, they were asking about tags, and in their question they specifically mentioned the this or that tag. However, the question relates to tags in general, and I figured that there may be other people who don't know the answer to this question. So the question is, what is a tag, and where do you get the questions? So this is for, you know, a tag that has questions for you to answer, or like, say, the scavenger hunt that has a list of things for you to do. Where do you get those? But first of all, what is a tag? Well, a tag is like a game that we play in the coloring community where we all come together, and, well, not all, but a great deal of people come together and play the game, and you participate by getting tagged. You know, like tag you're it. So the tag can be about anything. Usually it's about getting to know each other better, some kind of thing where you tell more about yourself. Like there's one going around right now called Coloring Habits, and you answer the questions about your coloring habits. And there was the this or that, and before that there was one called Would You Rather, and those are all, you know, would you do this or would you do that? And that just helps us get to know each other. And then there's ones that are just pure games, like the scavenger hunt, where you go off looking for pictures in your coloring books that are on a list that you're given. So that's what a tag is. At the end of the tag, you tag more people. Now, it used to be that the rule was that you tagged 3 people, like when I first started doing tags back in the day, when I was in the book community, booktube community, and we did tags. Then it was tag only 3 people, because that way you leave the floor open for the next person to be able to have more people to tag, because like right now, this is a teensy bit of a problem that I see with the tags that are happening now, is that people are tagging as many people as they want to. And what happens with that is you end up getting to the point where someone starts saying, I don't know who's been tagged or not, and I'm sure everybody's been tagged by now, so, I won't even tag somebody, I just open it up. And if people are only tagging 3 people at a time, that takes much longer before people start feeling like the whole community has been tagged. Do you see what I mean? See where I'm coming from? And I think that's why that used to be a rule with tags, to tag only 3 people. But that's not the way it is now, so that's it. Now, where do you get the questions from? Well, the person who starts the tag will come up with some questions will invent the tag, come up with the questions, or come up with the list. And then when you get tagged by that person and you answer your questions and you tag the other person, you're supposed to put the questions or the list down below in your description so that the next person doesn't have to hunt for it. But we always link back to the creator. So if the questions aren't listed in the comments, description, sorry, not the comments, in the comments section, then you just click on the creator's name and go back to the source and you'll find them there. So I hope that answers the question, and if anybody else, if there's any other new people out there who didn't know, I hope that answers your question. Just ask me if I wasn't clear on something. I do ramble sometimes when I'm trying to explain things. Okay, so let's take a look at one of my questions on my list. Now, I don't look ahead, so I don't know what these questions are. Okay. Alright, so the next one is, would you rather be without internet for a week or without your phone? Well, I can't really answer that because I don't have a phone. Now, I know that's weird, but I don't go anywhere, so I don't need a phone. I use my tablet for most things that people use a phone for. Except for, of course, making phone calls. I just use the phone that's in the house. So we'll skip that one. Would you rather meet George Washington or the current president? Well, let's skip that one because that's American-centric, and I have no desire to meet any American politicians, seeing as I'm Canadian. Alright, here's the next one. Would you rather lose your vision or your hearing? Oh boy, well, both of those are not nice, especially to lose it. At least if you're born that way, you don't know what you're missing, and you can't miss something. You don't know what it's about. But if you have it and you lose it, that's gotta be tough. I feel for people who have to experience that. But if I lost my hearing, I wouldn't be able to listen to music anymore. Now, I'm not a big music person. I don't listen to music daily or even weekly. I just every now get the hankering for some music, and I'll get Google, I have to whisper that or else it'll answer me, to play some music for me. And it's usually when some song gets into my head. So I wouldn't be able to hear music, and that would still be a bummer, even though I don't listen to music very often. What else? I wouldn't be able to hear people talk or understand them at first, but we could all learn sign language. I could learn to read lips, so that wouldn't be so bad. There's a workaround to that. I can't really think of anything else that there is to hear that I would miss. I would enjoy not having to listen to all the racket of the outside world, because that's where I get a lot of my anxieties from, I get overstimulated and I can't handle the noise that's going on. So that would be a good thing for me. Now, if I lost my eyesight, I wouldn't be able to read. I wouldn't be able to color. Oh, I think I know what my answer is going to be. There's a lot of things I do that I wouldn't be able to do. My three main hobbies are reading, watching TV shows, and coloring. And I wouldn't be able to do any of those. Yeah, there's the audiobooks, but I don't like audiobooks. I can't concentrate. But of course, I guess I would learn to concentrate if I couldn't see. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to lose my vision. So I think that's going to be a pretty easy response for me, is vision. No, sorry, I would rather lose my hearing than my vision. What about you? What would your answer be? So let's do one more. Alright, this is a long one. Let's see, what does it say? Would you rather work more hours per day, but fewer days, or work fewer hours per day, but more days? Well, I guess this is a question that a lot of people have to deal with every day. But what would I rather do? Okay, I gotta look at this to make it make sense. So I'm working more hours, but I work fewer days. Or I work fewer hours, but I work more days. Well, I think having more days off in a row would be better than having free time every day. Would it? So you worked less hours, but more days. So like, you know, let's just go with all week. So if you worked every day, but you didn't work for long, that means that you would get up, you'd go to work, you'd get that over, and then the day would be free to you. But then every night you would have the process of getting geared up to get up in the morning and go to work again. It would be nice to have that free time to yourself every day. Or get up, go to work all day, come home, be tired, go to bed, repeat. And do that for, say, 3 days, 4 days a week. 4 days a week. Then you have 3 whole days to yourself. You could go away, you could go on vacation, but you might need to take a whole day just to recuperate from all that work, depending on what you're doing. Especially if you're doing a physical labor job, you might just want to do nothing. You wouldn't be in the mood for driving away to go on a you know, a staycation a little drives away. That's a tough one, especially seeing as I don't work, so I can't compare it to my own situation. And my husband, Mr. Niagara, has wonky shifts, and he does both. He'll be working less hours and working more days, and then he'll be working more days. He'll be working more hours and less days the next time, so he switches backwards and forwards on not very much notice. Oh, I'm gonna go with working more hours a day, but working less days. That's going to be my answer. Alright, if you want to answer any of those questions in the comments down below, just let me know what your answers are. If you find any of those questions stimulating. So, I'm going to knock off for today because we're basically at half an hour. And so that means what? I've got an hour's material. So tomorrow's Friday. I'll tell you the saga of the bookcase, and maybe they will get it up by the time I record, and I'll be able to show you a picture of it. So yeah, I'm looking for, but you know what I'm gonna do is, since this is like a major change to the room, I'm going to do a craft room tour, or coloring room my studio tour. That's what I'm going to do once I have the bookcase in here and everything on it and tidied up and everything. So looking forward to that, and you can too in the not too distant future. So gonna take off for now, and I'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday for me. So yeah, see ya in a minute. Hello, welcome back. I know I haven't been gone long for you, but today is Saturday and it is 4:30 in the afternoon, and I am coming back for our last act, as someone called them. So I thought we'd work on this. Obviously I haven't started yet, but we are going to, this is my Jade Summer Chibi Girl 1 and 2 book. I have 5 pictures left to color in it, and then I will be completed. It will be completed. I do have to go do a final flip through of the book on my own to, I mean, yeah, just by myself to make sure that I didn't miss a picture anywhere, because that would be surprising if I was doing a full book finished flip through and we came to a non-colored page. So I'm pretty sure I got them all, or I'm 99.9% sure I got them all, so I'll be pretty surprised if I find one. So this girl doesn't have much skin, but let's make sure we don't miss any. So yeah, two of the 5 I have left are buddy colors, and I guess I'll be doing the other 3 by myself, which is fine. So this one is a buddy color, and I still am looking forward to this one because it's quite different from the usual fare in this book. I don't know how many others took place underwater. Been working on this book for, I actually don't know how long I've been working on this book. It was given to me as a gift by my sister, so I have her gift thing here, but it doesn't give the dates on it. I'll have to. Oh, it looks like maybe I've written it down. I've been working on it since 2018. Is that right? No, it can't be. It's got to be 2019 when I started this book. No, you're right. It was 2018 because that's when I started my channel. There might be some pages in here that don't have dates on them, but because, yeah, last year was 2019 and I filmed for the whole year, and I had started my channel like the March the year before. Oh my goodness. No, I think I'm a year behind. 2020 was last year. Duh. And I started my channel in 2019. Yes, and I got this book when I had my channel, so I'm working on it since 2019. In March is, yeah, oh, that's cool. It's almost 2 years because well, no, since I started my channel, it's almost 2 years. I need to go back and check and see when my first color tube video is, because I started my channel years and years ago. Not that many years ago, but you know what I mean. I've done quite a few other things on here, just doing the things I enjoy. And first of all, I was a subscription box junkie, so that's what I did. I did box openings, and then I got back into mixed media after a long rest, and I did that, but I never really got into the community part of things. I don't know. What color should her suits be? You know what? I'm going to go with pink. So, bright pink or light pink? I have the 2 extremes. I have like fuchsia and light pink. Let's go with light pink because I'm going to make the coral fancy. So PP2 here. I think I'll just color it one color and then I'll go over if I decide that I want to do parts different colors. Yeah. So I was saying I never really got into the community. I didn't like feel that I had a spot really in the community with mixed media, and maybe I was just getting into that, I don't know. But anyways, I just started feeling my interest in mixed media waning. I was sick and tired of the mess of always having to get all the stuff out and make a mess of myself and my surroundings. I always had newspapers put down, but it always went off of the newspapers and went other places. Like my clothes and well, I couldn't go anywhere without having some kind of paint splatter on my clothing. It's just like a given when you're doing art. I ended up doing creative art journaling, which wasn't messy because I was just using stickers and ephemera that I posted into my daily journal, and that was a lot of fun. But I think it was around the time that my dad died, which would have been February of 2018. Yeah, that's right. Because I was keeping a journal till then, and then I got called out to Calgary because my dad was, my dad was in the hospital and going down. He had Parkinson's syndrome, and basically when you're elderly and you get Parkinson's, it's basically a three-year diagnosis, and he pretty much made his 3 years, so we knew this might be the last time he went into hospital. And I went down there, and I didn't take my journal with me because I packed so fast and got on the next plane. And I never journaled again after that, which is kind of sad because, that really would have been a time when journaling would have been, let's do her mask pink too, and journaling would have actually been beneficial instead of just journaling about nothing, because I never had anything to journal about, just like I never have anything to say in my coloring chats. My life was never any more interesting than it is now, which is just a knot. My big news is I went to the doctor's today. But anyways, Canada Western Canada, I should say, or at least the prairie provinces. I don't know what it's like down east, and never really get any news from there because I don't know any people living out east. But anyways, in the prairies, I think they're having a polar vortex, because we've had that. That's when winds come down from the Arctic, and polar winds come down from the Arctic. But anyways, it gets cold in the prairies, really cold. And where my sister is and where Lisa, Coloring My Way, is, they both live in places where they're having temperatures, or Edmonton is expecting them, Lisa is experiencing them, of minus 45. And when you start getting to minus 45 Celsius, that's when Fahrenheit and Celsius start to meet, is somewhere in those cold temperatures. So you know how freezing that is. The province of Saskatchewan has okay, so let's say she got her tank just from, I don't know, let's just make her tank a tank color. Green? So yeah, the province of Saskatchewan has a public warning out to not leave their houses because it's so cold. But fortunately, where I live, it never, ever, ever gets that cold. When we get minus 15, minus 18, around there, then we think we're having the coldest weather on Earth. But fortunately, where I am right now, it's minus 5. There is the teeniest bit of a sprinkling of snow going on, though they are calling for flurries later on, so that means that we're going to get big wind. And I think I've said it before, that's the big thing that we get here is, well, I like that actually. Let's do the mouthpiece and the tube that color too. Yeah, that's our biggest concern here is wind, high winds. We get lots of those. And yeah, we get tornadoes out here too. Not in my region of Ontario, but where I used to live. I used to live in the southern Ontario. I was raised in the Fergus-Elora area of Ontario, in case there's anybody out there that is from that part of the province. I wasn't born there, but I was raised there. I was 5, I think, when my family moved there, and I was 21 when I left. So down there we got hurricanes. Never had one in Fergus-Elora, but in the towns neighboring, we did. So, that's my weather story. Yesterday, the guys put up my bookcase. And that was a day-long, that took all day. Nobody in this house is very adapt, with a hammer or tools in general, but my son is the one who is best at putting together furniture from illustrations. So this time we put him in charge, and Mr. Niagara was his helper. But Mr. Niagara had a hard time taking instructions from the son. And he kept asking me to come in there, and then I would stop and say to the son, "Do you need me?" And he'd say, "No." Dad just needs to... Oh, I've colored the tube, so I gotta color it here too. I wasn't going to color this, but oh well. Now I think we'll get out the dark gray, and we'll go over a few of these parts on her suit that should be black, or could be. I don't use black unless it's absolutely necessary. Dark gray is usually good enough. So let's see, which one do I want? Yeah, let's go with the blue-green since we're underwater here. So BG9, blue-green 9 is practically a black. So, well, we'll just do her belt. So yeah, the funny thing is that twice I got called in there for real. And they just couldn't get it to go together. And you know, they'd reached the point where either the instructions were wrong or the pieces of wood were cut wrong. And ooh, my back is hurting. This little thing here too. That could be the label. Oh, maybe the arm patches too. So the one time I came in, it ended up that they were considering the top and the bottom the sides, and so they had a side on the top when it needed to be on the side. So I came in and looked at the instructions and put them the same position as their thing was, and told them what was what, because I always come to the rescue. And then at the very end, they just could not get the screws into the bottom piece. Well, the top and the bottom are exactly the same, so it didn't matter. And so I came and helped them, and we managed to get them all lined up, but we couldn't get them in. And you know, they were starting to say, oh no, I shouldn't do her eyebrows. Wait until we decide on the color of hair. I think brown. I don't very often do brown hair, but, oh, actually I have that color that I like. That's kind of an auburn. We might go with that one, brick brown. What have I got for brown? This was raw umber. I've used that before. What number is raw umber? 102. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there it is. Right in the top corner. I'm just going to have a sip of my Dr. Pepper. So I came in and I helped them, and with the three of us, we managed to get them lined up, but we couldn't get them all the way in. And then I said, oh, there's another piece I can do green, too. Oh, no, not green. I mean gray. So I said, well, why? Oh, yeah, okay, we're all right. Thought I did the eyebrow gray then for a minute. I said, why don't we tip it up on its end, and then the weight of the bookcase will push them in. And so they got on the end and started to push it, but they were pushing it so that the top would be on the bottom. And I'm going, no, 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 the other way. Put the bottom down. And so they did. Yeah, okay, got the right one. So they did, and they went in perfectly because we'd gotten them all lined up. And that was it. It was done. And I will tell you, it is a heavy, solid piece of furniture. I am like so amazed. I was expecting it not to be that. Like, I was definitely not expecting, like, wood pieces that were that heavy. No way was I expecting that. It only cost me 179 Canadian dollars. And I think I got a really good deal because the IKEA one is 199. And that's the regular price for it. Now that's what the other one I have. Now this one is just a bit smaller than the IKEA one, so I guess, you know, that's why the price difference. But it's not considerably smaller than the new one. It, like, they look the same unless you look at it closely. Then you can tell that the cubes are just a little bit smaller, and you have to stand next to one and look over at the other one to notice that it's just a tad smaller, shorter. But It's short enough that I can, it's 4.9 feet, I think, and the other one is like 5.1 or something like that. So, oh, I don't need to do that there. So, what was I saying? So yeah, not noticeably different, but on the new one, I can reach the top. Yay! I can never reach the top of anything because I'm so short. Yeah, and I got tagged in 2 tags. Jamie, Jamie, I can never remember which way your name goes. I'm sorry. I believe it's Jamie's Coloring Love. And I think I might have got that right. She tagged me in the, what was it called? Oh, Coloring Habits tag. And Coloring with Kay tagged me in the 2020. I can't believe that's still going on in February. There's still some of us who haven't done that. And to tell you the truth, I was like kind of not wanting to do that one only because that it actually involves work, and I'm pretty lazy. and it's going to be tough to remember like what stuff I got in 2020, so I may not be right on with things. I mean, you guys know the size of my hauls, so how am I going to remember what books I got in 2020? I don't know. I'll just have to try and think of like the most recent books that aren't this year. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to come through on all the questions. And then it'll be a matter of who to tag. If you haven't done the Coloring Discoveries tag and you have a YouTube channel, let me know down below and I'll tag you. So anyways, next week the vlog is going to be a tag vlog. Yeah, line up. It's time for a vlogging. Yeah, that'll be a popular video. Oh dear. A tag vlog. And we'll do those 2 tags. And then see how much time that leaves us with, because I always ramble on those things. But I think most of us do, because, I mean, you don't want to just answer a question yes or no. And, I mean, you need to explain why. And I mean, isn't that the part that as a viewer, that we're wanting? It's not enough for us to know the yes or no to the question. We want to know why do you do that, or why don't you do that? So it's good that we ramble on. Alright, I always color my fish yellow. They're always goldfish, no matter what they look like, because that's what I do. So let's choose Anise. How many fish are in here? 2. Okay. Oh, and a school of fish over there. So let's use aniseed for 1 or 2. And let's use GB6 for the other. GB2. There's GB7. They're harder to find because of the letters and stuff. I find it so much easier to find markers that have numbers. You know, that's the only thing that's stopping me right now from getting the Yo-Hoo-Hoo brush markers, is that they use numbers. I mean, that they use letters. Okay. I don't like that. Oh, you know what? Let's use orange. Oh, that's better than yellow. That's what I usually use, too. All right, that's a bright orange. Let's do that. OR3. All right, now we have our orange fish. And, oh yeah. So, I'm going to work maybe tonight if I have the energy for it. I will start putting some stuff on the new bookcase. But I'll definitely be doing that tomorrow. So, it'll be kind of a work for 15 minutes, sit down and rest for 20. Work for 15 minutes, sit down and rest for 20. That's basically how I go about accomplishing a job, and it takes me all day. So then, once I get that done, I'm going to just make sure that the room is neat and tidy as I do it, because that's basically what I'm putting on it, the stuff that's messing up my room. And then for once, I will actually have enough storage in the room for the stuff I have. Because I always have. When this room was mixed media, oh my gosh. It was so messy because I had way more stuff than I had room for. And that becomes quite hard to store it when there isn't the room. But I figure that by the time I get the bookcase filling up with books instead of the odds and ends, that I will have a time to come up with storage ideas for that stuff. Like, I mean, I have room now for shelving, so that will definitely help out. So I think I'll go that route. Of course, the shelves are going to have to be lower than shelves would normally be, so that I can like actually reach stuff on them. There's no sense storing, and I've done it before, storing my stuff up high, because then I just never use it, because I either have to get somebody to get it down if it's too heavy, or I have to stand on a stool, and that just doesn't really work very well for me. Alright, so let's see if we can... I've been like zooming along on this. I can't believe it. Maybe I'll do her knee patch gray too. And I forgot the other arm. So let's go back to that before I forget. So just so you know, I'm using my Spectrum Noirs. These are the ones I'm currently using up because I only have a bunch that I bought on sale. Then I'm using my Ohuhus, which is my regular brand now. And I just got out a Stettler Tri-Plus fine liner to do the black eye. Alright, so where's that gray? Here we are. Then you guys will get my new studio tour. That's what I'm going to call it. The only thing that's missing from here is that there's a corner that has been left empty, and I'm going to either bring the what do you call them? Easy chair. Bring the easy chair up from downstairs, but it's broken, so maybe I can talk Mr. Niagara into looking around on Kijiji for a second-hand lounge chair or easy chair, whatever people call them. The ones where the legs swing out and you can put your feet up and the back goes back. I'm going to get one of those in here for my bad days. Because, okay, now we're going to do this guy, but he's going to get done this other color. Yes, I did what he said. You can't see the knee there. Okay. So this is kind of a brownish yellow. A little bit of a difference than the other one. And I guess I'll get that yellow back out to do the other fish. Well, this one has a line. He can get a blue line. Yeah, because that's, I often do my fish blue and orange, and that's not goldfish color, but let's put the blue in those places right there so that he's kind of a fancy fish. And I don't have any blues in the Spectrum Noirs. That's why I didn't use them for so long, is because, well, there's one called Marine Blue, let's use that. Because I didn't have any blues, and blues seem to be my most popular color. I think it's because, okay, just a minute, let me see if I can find this. I seem to not be able to find numbers while I'm talking. There we go. Blue is my most used color. Like, it's not my favorite color, but the reason why I think it's my most favorite color is because, one, I like coloring underground. I like coloring underwater pictures. This is a lot like a blue-gray. Didn't expect that. That looks alright together. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, about blue. So I use it for water, and then I always seem to do, I'm going to use yellow now for the school of fish. I always seem to use blue for skies. And I don't have to. I should use, oh, you know what? I've missed a bit of that fin. I should use black paint pen more often. And that's what I should get myself, is a box full of black paint pens. Wish you could buy boxes of colors of hoo-hoos. So I definitely pick out a few blues and get, 12 of them. Yeah, my skies are blue, and other people do their skies like yellow, or they'll do pink and purple, or, why do I always have to do blue? I don't know. It's just, my world has a blue sky, and I can't change from it. Here's some more. Wow. I think I'm going to quit now, because I think I only have half an hour before this starts becoming too long. And I don't know how interesting this vlog will be. I don't know. Okay, so I do think I need a little bit more on here. Let's get that dark pink I have, PP6, I believe it is. And let's do this top part on her. That might look nice. Yeah, so let's finish this up, and then I'm going to finish the vlog. And I want to thank everybody who has made it to the end here. And to you I want to thank you for supporting me, for putting in the watch time for me, for clicking the likes, for commenting, and again, especially to the people who use my links down below and who watch the ads and make it possible for me to have some money to put back into the channel. So, a big thank you to you. I appreciate it more than you can know. And with that, guys, I am going to leave you. Next week, you can expect, tomorrow and the following days, you can expect flip-throughs, and most of them will be from the Coloring Hive collection. So, I will see you again next Monday, where we're going to be exploring some tags, and hopefully I have some interesting discussion for you. And in the meantime, until next time, bye!